Have you ever noticed how some women walk into a room and instantly command the entire space without saying a word or trying to grab anyone's attention? If you are tired of feeling invisible in your dating life and want to understand how to shift from constantly chasing validation to becoming the ultimate priority, this breakdown will explain the psychological mechanics behind this magnetic shift. We are going to explore the exact behavioral changes that allow you to establish an effortless magnetism that changes the nature of masculine attraction from the very first interaction. Staying until the end of this analysis will provide you with a practical framework to stop overcompensating and start radiating an unshakable confidence that makes men naturally work for your approval. The core foundation of this mysterious allure begins with a complete and unapologetic withdrawal of unearned validation during early interactions. Most women make the mistake of over-communicating and displaying high levels of availability the moment a man shows a casual interest, which instantly kills the excitement of the pursuit. When you maintain a private, slightly detached baseline instead, his primitive hunter instinct is forced to activate because he cannot instantly decipher your emotional landscape. This intentional restraint creates a healthy barrier that separates you from the crowd of hyper-available options who compromise their boundaries just to keep a conversation alive. By refusing to offer cheap attention, you quietly establish yourself as a premium presence that requires real, consistent effort to access. This behavioral framework operates on the simple evolutionary rule that men naturally place the highest value on assets that carry a real opportunity cost and require personal investment. When you treat your time as a limited resource, you trigger an automatic psychological response in his mind that raises your perceived value overnight. And there is a fascinating psychological phenomenon that almost nobody notices at first, which is how a man will instinctively pull out his best behavior when he senses that a woman is completely satisfied with her own company. His regular superficial text messages and low-effort plans suddenly feel inadequate to him because your neutral demeanor sets a remarkably high standard without you ever presenting an aggressive ultimatum. He realizes that to enter your personal sphere, he must bring genuine value to the table. Your predictability is replaced by a refreshing, unpredictable nature that leaves his ego entirely unsure of where he stands with you. Instead of finding a predictable partner who asks for reassurance or panics when he takes a few hours to reply, he encounters a woman whose mood is entirely independent of his actions. This lack of reactive emotional feedback disorients a man who is accustomed to dictating the romantic climate of his relationships through temporary distance. He begins to closely monitor his own actions because he realizes that your attention is a temporary privilege that can be quietly revoked without a dramatic argument. This subtle shift in control forces him into a reactive loop, where he actively seeks your smile to validate his status. Furthermore, a woman who embodies this specific presence carries a distinct physical composure that communicates absolute self-sovereignty before she even speaks. You move through your daily routine with an unhurried grace. Your posture remains relaxed yet completely upright, and your eyes never dart around the room searching for external approval. This relaxed body language registers in his psychological framework as a sign of supreme internal security, proving that you do not need his compliments to feel complete. He cannot simply drop by for casual validation when he is bored because your energetic boundary feels like a well-guarded palace. This total physical control places him in a position where he feels a natural urge to prove his worthiness to you. Entitled men who are used to managing expectations with empty promises of future change find themselves completely paralyzed by this clinical standard of accountability. When you judge a man strictly by his real-time actions, rather than the beautiful potential he tries to sell you, you dismantle his ability to use cheap manipulation tactics. He can no longer feed his vanity with your emotional energy because you have closed the borders to your inner world until real consistency is delivered. This strategic starvation of his ego forces him to realize that his loud posturing carries absolutely zero weight against your silent boundaries. If you have ever experienced that incredible moment when a man started trying 10 times harder simply because you stopped caring, type your story below. This total liberation from the traditional conditioning of the hyperflexible, endlessly forgiving partner is what makes a true black cat so completely unforgettable. You stop viewing a partner as an essential centerpiece of your daily happiness and start viewing his consistency through a realistic lens that prioritizes your peace of mind. This foundational shift ensures that your precious cognitive resources are fiercely protected from low-value behavior that thrives on slow boundary erosion. You become an active gatekeeper of your own reality, filtering out mixed signals with an icy efficiency that commands respect from everyone. This level of self-preservation ensures that your path moves smoothly towards your personal goals without any unnecessary chaos. The long-term impact of maintaining this unyielding posture is that his obsession with your presence deepens the more he realizes you cannot be bought with basic flattery. He becomes hyper-focused on discovering your likes, your hidden passions, and the specific things that make you laugh because your validation feels like a rare achievement. This intense curiosity keeps his mind tethered to your image even when you are physically apart, driving him to invest his resources into your shared future. He is no longer looking for an easy convenience to fill his empty weekends. He is trying to secure a permanent place next to a prize. Your scarcity transforms your attention into a luxury item that his competitive nature cannot bear to lose. When he attempts to test your stability by pulling back or using silence as a subtle tool, your absolute indifference completely shatters his expectations. He anticipates a predictable wave of anxious text messages or emotional phone calls that would confirm his ongoing leverage over your lifestyle. Instead, your world continues to rotate beautifully without a single stumble, making him realize that his temporary absence causes you zero psychological discomfort. This total lack of a reactive response deflates his inflated sense of self-importance and forces him to sit alone with his own boredom. He is left performing his childish distance to an empty room, which quickly drives him to surrender his pride and reach out. To cultivate this magnetic presence and understand how a complete shift in focus makes you entirely unpredictable, the Black Cat Playbook provides an advanced behavioral manual. This strategic guide details exactly how to handle intense relationship standoffs, screen potential partners with clinical precision, and establish unshakable boundaries from day one. You can claim your personal copy of the blueprint right now by checking the official link available in the description down below. It is an incredible feeling when you realize you are suddenly holding all the cards, and if you are still tuning in right now, congratulations, because you are unlocking a rare psychological edge that most women never develop. When you step completely outside of the traditional cycle of chasing him, you gain a clear view of how fragile masculine confidence actually is behind all that loud posturing. A man who enters your orbit will notice that his usual tricks simply fail to register, which instantly triggers an intense desire to solve the mystery of your affection. This permanent shift into an unbothered state means you stop reacting to his presence altogether, and instead force his entire mind to revolve around earning your approval. A man's thoughts become entirely consumed by a black cat when he realizes his charm cannot penetrate her calm aura, which creates a massive loop of endless curiosity in his mind. There is a strange mechanical shift in masculine psychology that happens during this exact standoff, where the complete lack of emotional feedback acts like a mirror reflecting his own desperate need to be noticed. He will spend hours looking at his phone, wondering why his value plummeted the second he tried to act cool, while your daily life keeps moving seamlessly towards your highest personal ambitions. This total lack of attention from your side strips away his safety net, causing him to replay every single conversation, just to find where he lost his absolute grip on your focus. The actual obsession deepens because his ego simply cannot accept the fact that a woman is completely unfazed by his absence or his casual behavior. He will start manufacturing reasons to bring himself back into your space, offering grand gestures or sudden bursts of high-quality energy to see if he can still get a rise out of you. This is the moment where his thoughts transition from casual dating into a state of permanent fixation, as your silence becomes the loudest thing in his reality. He becomes an outside spectator trying to look into a locked palace, which naturally forces him to place you on a pedestal that he will spend months trying to climb. This magnetic state of existence works so perfectly because it shifts your entire cognitive energy away from analyzing his character and directly into building your own independent reality. You no longer waste hours decoding mixed signals with your friends because you are too busy executing your career goals, upgrading your health, and protecting your inner peace. This massive reallocation of focus means that if a man wants to stay in your world, he has to actively compete with the amazing life you have already engineered without him. He is forced to adapt to your high standards immediately, realizing that any drop in his consistency will result in his permanent removal from your inner circle. We can see the natural conclusion of this dynamic playing out when a man completely surrenders his pride just to secure a permanent slot, next to a prize he knows he cannot replace. His initial desire to control the relationship completely dissolves, replaced by a deep anxiety about losing the rarest connection he has ever encountered in the dating scenario. He willingly drops the childish games and the silent treatments, because he knows you possess the quiet willingness to drop his presence without a second thought. This realization completely changes his behavior, transforming his initial casual interest into a devotion that dictates how he treats you moving forward. The final victory comes when you realize that your ultimate standard of self-respect has naturally filtered out low-effort behavior before it could ever drain your personal resources. You stand as the sole author of your own trajectory, moving beautifully towards a future where your emotional climate is completely secure and self-generated. There is an incredible power in knowing that you never had to beg for consistency, because your aura did all the heavy lifting while you focused on your own personal growth. The chapter closes on his terms of confusion, leaving him to look up at a woman who became his absolute obsession the exact moment she chose to prioritize her own peace. If this deep dive into magnetic psychology helped you see your own worth more clearly, make sure to subscribe to the channel right now and smash that like button. Subscribing is incredibly important because it allows our independent community of strong women to grow and reach millions who are still struggling with low-value treatment. To continue this transformation right now, click on the card on your screen to watch the video where I talk about a harsh truth that every woman needs to learn. Thank you so much for investing your time with me today. Keep standing behind your boundaries, and I will see you in the next video.